Most people go to a beach to relax, but not me. I'm a car guy. I like finding my peace and serenity inside a project car. This is my 1999 Ferrari 360, and you might have seen it on last week's episode where I dumped a ton of money and about 4 months of my time into painting it blue, and it's still not done. So on this episode, we're finishing it with a whole slew of parts. This isn't all of them. This is just for the thumbnail. The rest of the parts are actually back there. But on this episode, we are actually finishing the 360 once and for all. And I am super excited for that because this has been my daily driver for the past year and a half, and I haven't seen it in about 4 months. So on this episode, we redid the whole interior. And for all you guys that are wondering, the $100 dye job is actually still holding up great. And we're still running a lot of the parts. But the dashboard needed to be replaced, and with the car being repainted, it was finally time to make this car a really nice Ferrari. So now, that $40,000 budget 360 that we bought is starting to look pretty damn expensive. Let's start putting things in the car. And no, we're not turboing this. These are actually for a different car, but come on, I wanted it in the thumbnail. And no, I'll never turbo the 360 because the 3.6 liter V8 is super cool NA, and I don't care about how fast the car is because it has a lot of emotion, which is a great time to plug driver's era because speed is just a number, but emotion is forever. This was supposed to be an ad, but instead of making thousands of dollars, I'm throwing it in the trash because a pet food that you see marketed all over actually made my dog sick, and I can't do that to you guys. Instead, I'm gonna take the opportunity to promote my own brand, Driver's Era. It's the brand that celebrates the cars that we love from the era that made the best cars. I told you guys when I started this channel that I would never advertise anything that I personally wouldn't use or I didn't think that you guys would find useful. And getting our pets sick ain't it. We were super excited for this sponsorship because nothing would be better than making money to promote dog food to you guys and getting better food for my dog. But as soon as we started feeding Champ this food, he had all sorts of tummy issues. So we took to the internet and found all sorts of Reddit threads with dogs having the exact same issue. So there's no way that I could promote something that could potentially harm your dog. So for the finale of the 360, we got a bunch of new designs and even some old favorites in Oslo Blue. We got new logos and old favorite logos in Oslo Blue, and we even went down to the beach and Amy shot the photo on the photo tee that's available. So support Driver's Era because we don't poison dogs. And these cars are what does it for us, so we're not turboing it. And then, on the other side of things, I don't even know if this is gonna be cool, but this has been in my head since I wanted to paint the car. We gotta give it a shot. So let me know if you think this is gonna be horrible, but stick around to the end when we put these on, then tell me if it's horrible or not, but I think it's gonna be cool. Before we dig into the interior, a deep cleaning was in order. Months at a body shop left the inside of this car absolutely totaled, with body shop dust ingrained in every single orifice on the inside. So I spent an entire afternoon blowing out the dust and vacuuming up and cleaning everything before we put all the interior in. Big thanks to Gustavo DBG Detailing for giving me a hand. I used some G-Technic cleaner on the carpet, vacuumed it up, now we're ready to get started. All right, first order of business, put this dashboard back in because this is the most intimidating job in probably cars overall. I think most times when I was growing up, I would rather swap an engine than pull a dashboard. Hooray, we did it. The problem is on these old Ferraris is the dash actually shrinks. So I had it rewrapped. I got some nice blue accent stitching on there because, you know, I'm a Porsche guy at heart. We love our deviated stitching. So this is gonna look super nice in the car. It's dusty because it's been sitting around for months, but we're gonna throw this thing in, followed by the rest of the interior. All right, now it looks like a car. See, the problem is I like mushed a lot of my plugs and connectors up into the dash so that no one knocked them around while the car was getting painted, but now I don't know where they belong. So the key here is when you're putting a dashboard back in your cars, there's a lot of bolts and there's a lot of wires. So you want to make sure all your wires are routed correctly, because once it's all in, if you have something routed over a duct that shouldn't be, you're gonna have a bad time. Never tighten anything up at first. Get everything situated. Put all of the bolts in before you tighten anything up, because there's no room to shim things around here. So you just have to take it real slow. Good old Phillips head screws. Audi, Volkswagen, they all try to class it up with Torx bits, triple squares, and whatever else. Superior car, superior hardware. Which means we celebrate that by not using the intended tool, but thanking Boxo for making all sorts of different Phillips head adapters that I could put on an impact gun. Yeah.
Ferrari is hand built.
Hand built. Modern day Enzo. He would have been like, guys, what are you doing? You're wasting time and my goddamn money hand building things with Allen key, like a screwdriver. Like, use a fucking impact gun. We'll get a Milwaukee sponsorship.
Alla vostra grossa, brutte, insignificanti
That's your
macchine.
big ugly factory making its ugly little cars.
Ooh, imagine what Milwaukee, Italy would be like. Hand built. Cool. Remember that advice I gave you like probably 8 seconds ago in this video? I just clamped my airbag wire behind the dash. There we go. Pop these screws in and then we're good to go. Airbag in. This thing's looking like a car. Dang, it's died. I've really been working this thing out.
You quitting because
No.
your power tool's dead?
Yeah, this is my battery light. What am I supposed to do? Screw these in by hand?
Yeah, the Ferrari way.
Only if I could take up smoking. What do we got? I got 2 of these, a bunch of these. Oh yeah. It's starting to feel like a car again. It's coming back. We're doing it. Hell yeah. One of the weirdest things that I've had to deal with this entire journey with the Ferrari is these. So Ferrari uses shims for everything. Some could argue that that means that they want everything to fit super precise. But I've worked on BMWs and tons of other cars my entire life, and things just like work. So it makes it a bit more intimidating to put together, because you get to situations like this and you're like, okay, I got a gap here on my airbag and then it doesn't quite line up on the bottom, right? So I have this all like semi-loose. So you have to spend some time here to shim out your airbag, which is just like not normal. And there's different thicknesses and whatever. So you're like, all right, this side's a little low. And when I fit up the airbag, the glove box, I know it's gonna give me a problem. So you have to come in the back. I already had a thin guy in there. So we're gonna stack. Boy yoga.
After being a Ferrari guy for the last 2 years, what is your take on Ferrari craftsmanship?
I think this car is hard to judge because the 360 is the generation where Ferrari craftsmanship sort of changed, or like it was in changing. I think it's pretty good. I mean, the car is like hand built. I find it very easy to work on. Things are usually very accessible. They're very easy to get to. You're never really in one of those situations where like stuff breaks when you take it apart, because things were put together in a way where humans did it, not all machines. So to me, like taking a dashboard out of a Volkswagen is disastrous. There's tons of clips that break, things that never go back together. But taking it out of the Ferrari, it's all like Phillips head screws and 10 mils. And it just like, everything's easy to get to. Everything's just like accessible. So I'd say the craftsmanship is pretty good. If you look at some of the structural stuff, like the welds, the box tubing and things like that, it looks a little backyard made, but that's kind of the charm of it, right? All right, it's time finally to put some blue interior pieces in. And I wanted to keep it like kind of subtle, so I did just the lower half of the dashboard in blue, kind of to color match to the car. I sort of wish I could go over the top like DDE did on their Mercy with like the full blue, everything, dash, headliner, seats, but I think that interior cost them like 50 grand. And this car cost me 50 grand, so I'm not gonna do that. How the fuck do you put this in? How did I put this in? Oh, yeah. Actually, it's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Except for I don't remember how it goes in. Okay, not too bad. It's been so long that I'm just trying to remember how to put this back together. The one major thing that I find absolutely insane with the 360 is look at all these plugs. These are all identical plugs. Now on the headlights, the high beam and the low beam are also identical plugs. And that to me is like really difficult. A lot of cars, when you're putting them back together, plugs only work in one plug that could reach each other. So it's like pretty simple. But when you're doing this car, you have to like take photos and remember exactly which wire is coming out of which plug. Otherwise, you run into a situation where you could literally put them into anything. So you got brown, red, white, and another red. So let's see if we can put this back. This is the fourth. One of the experts out there knows why these were all the same plug. Like, was it just a cost-cutting thing? Was it just easy to like, cheaper to make them all the same plug and just tell you that you should look at a service manual to put them together, or what? Oh, you dumb dick. Put all the wires through the wrong hole. God, it's all supposed to be somewhere on the top, somewhere on the bottom. This is like the dumb part about doing cars and like dashboards and stuff. If you don't pay attention to how all the wires are ran, like you end up just doing dumb stuff like this. I already had to pull the lower dash out because all of these were behind it, but now I just have to run all these up. Little mistakes.
And I've been thinking about it. Everything getting so shrouded. Why is this world so crowded? Everything getting so shrouded. And I've been thinking about it. Everything getting so shrouded.
No seat and I could still put my head on the ceiling.
Why is this world so crowded? Everything getting so shrouded.
Oh my God. Putting this radio in has been like an hour-long journey, only to figure out one of the stupidest things ever that I'm sure the two people who work on Ferraris out there watching this are gonna be like, you're an idiot. But the radio actually has like this little ding-a-ling that goes into a hole in the dash like that. And it's like impossible to line up unless you know it's there. But hey, we're done. Oh, door cards are a huge pain in the ass, and I'm not ready to have that struggle in my life. We do door panels absolutely last.
No, wheels last.
Oh my God, I forgot about the wheels. I'm so excited to drive this thing again, man. It's been so long. Over 3 months. I've put 13,000 miles on this car in a year and 2 months. And then in 3 months, it has only moved in a parking lot. But now it's really nice.
Everything getting so shrouded.
All right, now that we've got the interior all dialed in, there's a lot of stuff in the engine bay that we got to take care of first. This car has been sitting for a while. It's developed a couple of issues, and one mod that is so ridiculously stupid that you guys are never gonna believe it, but it costs pretty much $0. So let me show you that first. See this? If you're thinking to yourself, what the hell is that? It's just a black blob. This here is an air intake muffler. Who in their right mind would wanna muffle the air coming in? Let me show you this thing. Air comes in through the quarter panel here, goes through this box and into the air boxes. And this box right here is basically a muffler for the intake system. The pipe here has holes in it and like a baffle, and then it goes into this like resonance chamber to quiet down the intake sound. And now, having just broke this thing apart, I realized, for anyone out there who has a Ferrari 360, maybe a 430 as well, this is a free mod. You could pull this box out, break this off, literally duct tape these holes, and have a challenge style intake. And if you think that sounds ghetto, I'm gonna put on the screen what the challenge intake is. Because it's essentially a carbon fiber duct and then like this crap. So You can literally break your intake air box apart, duct tape these, or put some expensive heat foil on it if you want to look really fancy, and you can delete your pipe. But I'll show you what I did because I didn't know that until right now. So basically, I had a bunch of fabrication materials from other projects laying around the shop. So all I did was get a massive reducer down to 4" and run an aluminum 45 into the factory coupler. This pipe is the factory piece and it would have worked just fine. And if you don't understand what I'm saying, this is low pressure, meaning it's pre-throttle body. There's no boost. All it is air coming in through here. So it doesn't need to be perfectly sealed. This would actually work absolutely fine. All of the Ferrari challenge cars, so the race car series, runs a direct pipe without those. People online say that the intake noise is incredible. So I figured this is a pretty great, worthwhile mod that cost me 20 bucks, but you could actually do for literally $0. The next one is easy, but intimidating. Can we just take a moment here and just appreciate what the f is going on here? Can you just look at what it is here that we're looking at? Let me break it down for you. We've got one of 2 gas tanks. We've got one of 2 ECUs. This thing does something for sure. I don't know. And then we have all of these vacuum lines here that run everything. We have the oil cooler and then a vacuum canister and then all these lines doing stuff. But Sam from Seneca AI, the guys who tuned this car, he stopped by the body shop to check something out and noticed that the way I had my exhaust valve set up, he said should be changed and should run off the factory valves, not the vacuum canister as I have it. So I'm gonna swap that around. But I just wanted to take a second and show you guys just the pure chaos that goes on under these covers. Look at this, look at this. Who are you? All I need to do is reroute a couple of vacuum lines, but the hard part is understanding where the hell they go. All right, last one before we finally get to put the TEs on the car and you guys get to tell me if I made a horrific mistake or if it looks really cool. But my favorite mod on this entire car has been the Klein exhaust. But what happens with the 360 is if your motor mounts change at all, the positioning of your exhaust changes. So they actually created these mounts here that bolt to the hanger and the muffler so that these won't bang around. Because mine are like perfect right now and they don't hit. But when my motor mounts were actually really worn out, it used to like bang up against the bumper and stuff. So I'm just gonna put these on now anyways, just to like make sure my exhaust stays in place so it's not like crooked or saggy or anything. One more thing. So the car's been feeling a bit slow. It's the reason why Sam went down to check out the car. And I thought it was an ECU mapping problem or maybe something that he could log. But what he actually found out was the little solenoid, the little vacuum chamber that opens up the secondary throttle bodies is broken. I'll show you. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Little diaphragm here. And I guess all of the screws have shook itself loose. So it no longer diaphragms, and I think all of the bolts that held it together actually shook themselves out. So I'm gonna remove it, see if we can rebuild it and get it to work. Otherwise, I'm gonna order another one. Ready to put this door panel on? I'm not. 3 months ago, I took these door panels apart. Been through upholstery shop, a body shop, and me just forgetting. So here's all my baggies. I don't know where any of this goes. The 360 door panel is an absolute huge pain in the ass to do. It's a multi-piece door panel. You've got the standard door panel, and then you have this metal cover. But the problem is everything has to line up, but all of these clips here where you bolt them into have some sort of adjustment. You can't actually get them all to line up at once. It has proven to be a huge pain in the ass. The other side took me probably 3.5 hours to put together. And that's my second time doing it. I'm hoping the driver's side will go a little bit smoother. It's honestly one of the most challenging parts about building cars and doing this type of stuff. And we talk a lot about the last 10% takes 90% of the time. We've spent the last 4 or 5 days now putting the interior of the car together. Little things. I mean, taking full days to install door panels, trim, and like belt moldings and stuff. And it's all this stuff that's so visually boring to watch and so painfully slow to do. But the last 10% is literally what makes or breaks a car. Like, this looks great, and then you pull this crap off, and now your car feels jank. So doing that last 10% is worth the effort of all the 90% of the time, because to me, these things are what make or break a car. Whether it's like adding the exterior trim on all the bits that have to be there, or making sure all the interior parts like have nice fit and finish, and like getting new parts so that things aren't broken, all of that makes the car come together. So when you get in it, it doesn't feel like trash. Wheel time, baby. It's what I've been waiting for since I got this car back. But I'm so excited to try this out because in my brain, it's gonna look cool, but it could also look horrible. So these are actually Infiniti Q45 spec TE37s. They're 19 by 8.5s, 19 by 10.5s. This is a step up from the LMs, which were 18s. And a bit of a meteor tire. I put a 235/35 and a 275/35 Yokohama 8009 on here, which I guess has sort of become like the tire at the shop because it's on literally every set of wheels, including all the cars out front. For a track tire, this is incredible. This tire has a nail in it, but also these are the first rear tires that I put on this car when I put the LMs on. That was like 13,000 miles ago. I did 2 track days, a bunch of canyon days, drove to Colorado, bunch of burnouts and donuts. You can still run these. That's pretty good. I never would have thought those would have lasted so long. Oh yeah. God damn, it's cool. Charlie, come on, come here.
I can't show them yet. We just gotta do this proper.
I just want you to look at it and film it in yourself.
No. Hold on, we'll point the camera this way.
I got you. What do you think?
Damn. Hold on. I feel like this is the same moment I had with the E36. I wasn't a believer. I'm a believer right now.
Dude.
No, this it's kind of iconic.
Yo, I love it.
Yeah, that's kind of iconic.
Oh, shit.
And then you like,
Oh my God.
you come in and you see the interior.
Yo, honestly, when I got the 360, I loved the 18s because I felt like everyone with Ferraris does big wheels. And I was like, I want to do small wheels, chunky tire. And I've been about it for a long time. But now,
This
dude, the 19s look crazy.
yeah, the 19s for one does it really well. It fills out the wheel well, and then the colorway.
Oh,
It's like the more I look at it, the more it grows on me.
me too.
Sick.
We'll be back. I gotta stand and stare.
Yeah.
super hyped on this car, but I'm really interested to see what you guys think because I know the crowd was split. Part of the people loved the Grandpa Racing Gold. Other people were open to seeing it changed. And I don't know, for me, I'm hyped. Like, this is what I wanted to see in this car since the day I bought it. And it's just crazy to me. Like, I took a risk on buying the ugliest, most boring Ferrari 360 I've ever seen. And I've enjoyed it the whole way. I mean, from doing basic bolt-ons like suspension and exhaust and wheels, like I love the car so much. Everything else has been such a journey. I mean, I can't believe how far I've taken this car on my own. Like the first time I pulled the interior out to dye it, I felt like I was crazy. And then pulling the whole transmission out, doing the manual swap, it all felt like such big moves because I had never worked on a Ferrari ever before in my life. And I never really thought I'd be qualified to. I've just been like chipping away at it. And then when we dove into doing this whole rehab, it felt like it was never gonna get done. I mean, every panel on the exterior was off. The entire interior was out, including the dashboard. Like, I was freaking out thinking I was never gonna get this car done. I'm so hyped to see it, and I don't know what comes next for it. The Ferrari's not gonna disappear. I'm not selling it. Unless one of you guys offers me like a lot of money, then maybe I'll sell it, but probably not. So what do we do with this thing next? I kind of feel like it's done, but maybe we could throw like a twin turbo setup on it or do some nitrous. I don't really know. It needs a bunch of little things like wheel spacers and like matching hardware in the interior, but for the most part, this thing is absolutely perfect to me. So I don't want to overbuild it for YouTube and ruin the car because like, this thing's going back to daily driver duty. So next, I've got some projects in mind. I kind of think that the budget supercar thing is the move. So next year, what do you guys want to see? I'm thinking twin turbo, manual swapped Gallardo, or maybe we build like a GT2 RS style 997 turbo, or maybe we just go hunt out some real piece of shit supercar or JDM Legend and rebuild it. I don't know yet, but I do know that this has been super fun. I've learned a lot from it. So I think next project will happen faster and we'll get it done quick because I know you guys have been impatient.